There's a metaphor that just has been haunting me lately, which is that Obama's racial divisiveness has led to Dallas, the shootings, just as Nixon's ideological divisiveness led to the Kent State shootings of 1970. You can't base your politics when you're president of the United States on dividing Americans from one another and sowing the emotions of those divisions throughout the country. It's a good short-term strategy. It gets you elected, but it screws up the country as its consequence, and it leaves a legacy that is very, very hard to heal, in which Americans blame other Americans and then increasingly resort to violence against them. And no matter what president tries it, it ends in a fiasco. Obama's policies, his emphasis on blaming the police anytime there's a confrontation, just like in Ferguson, Missouri, where it ended up the officer acted completely reasonably, and his policies about letting everybody out of jail that he can find, pardoning people, reducing jail sentences, making jail seem to be a racist imposition on an unsuspecting minority community. His policies are all aimed at creating racial resentment and division. And they culminated in this assassination plot of these 5 well-serving, public-spirited Dallas police officers. And it's very similar to what Nixon did before Kent State. His rhetoric as he took president was divisive. He talked about the silent majority that opposed the beatniks and the hippies who were tearing down and burning the American flag and burning their draft cards and were unpatriotic and wouldn't support the war even though they should, and bearded and long-haired and used drugs and everything. And the result was that he stimulated a real backlash against the anti-war protesters that led ultimately to the shootings of students at Kent State University in Ohio. When the President of the United States seeks not to heal, and not to assuage differences and combine people, the way Bill Clinton did, the way Ronald Reagan did, the way Dwight Eisenhower did, the way George Bush, both George Bushes did, the more he scapegoats other Americans, the more he gives rise to this kind of racial polarization or ideological polarization, and inevitably to violence. And once you start it, it is very, very hard to stop it. Thanks for watching.